Jacob Warren lived alone in the Montana mountains, a place where civilization was a 2-day ride and winters could kill the unprepared. He preferred the silence, the solitude, the peace that came from being forgotten by a world that had never understood him. So when he returned from checking his trap lines and saw smoke rising from his cabin, his first thought was anger. Someone had invaded his sanctuary. What he found made his blood run cold. A blonde woman hung suspended from his roof beam, her wrists bound with rope, barely conscious. Across her back, burned into her skin with a branding iron, were 2 words that told a story of hatred and violence. Apache Lover. She'd been left here to die, a message meant for him or for anyone who might show her mercy. Jacob moved fast. He cut her down, catching her before she hit the floor, and laid her gently on his bed. Her breathing was shallow, her skin pale beneath the dirt and blood. The burns were infected, her body fighting fever. He'd seen men die from less, but something in him refused to let this woman become another casualty of ignorance and hate. Before we go further into this powerful story, I need you to comment which country you're watching from right now. This story is reaching people everywhere, and I want to see our global community. And if you're already feeling the weight of this moment, hit that like button, because what Jacob does next will restore your faith in humanity. For 3 days, Jacob fought to keep her alive. He cleaned her wounds with whiskey and herbs, changed bandages every few hours, and forced water down her throat when the fever made her delirious. He barely slept, terrified that if he closed his eyes, she'd slip away. On the 4th morning, her eyes finally opened, blue and haunted and full of questions. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Jacob Warren. This is my cabin. Someone left you here 3 days ago." He helped her sip water. "What's your name?" "Catherine. Catherine Morrison." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "They found out about Running Bear. We were going to leave together, start over somewhere they couldn't find us. But they caught us at the river crossing." Her voice broke. "They killed him. Made me watch. Then they branded me and brought me here to die as a warning to anyone else who might love across the lines they drew." Jacob's jaw tightened. He knew the hatred she was talking about. His own mother had been Shoshone, and his white father had paid for loving her with his reputation, his business, everything but his life. Jacob had grown up caught between 2 worlds, accepted by neither, learning early that love was considered a crime when it crossed certain boundaries. "You're safe now," he said quietly. "Those men won't find you here. And if they try, they'll answer to me." Catherine studied him with those sharp blue eyes. "Why help me? You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. I know what it's like to be punished for who you love." That's enough. Weeks turned into months. Catherine healed slowly, the burns on her back fading to scars that would never fully disappear. Jacob expected her to leave once she was strong enough, to return to whatever life she'd had before. But she stayed, learning to hunt and trap, to read the mountain weather, to survive in this harsh, beautiful isolation. One evening, as snow began to fall, Catherine found Jacob on the porch. "I need to tell you something. I'm not staying because I'm afraid to leave. I'm staying because this is the first place I've ever felt free. You never asked me to be anyone but myself. You never judged me for loving someone the world said I shouldn't love." Jacob turned to her. "You don't have to explain." "Yes, I do. Because I need you to understand that what I feel for you isn't gratitude. It is an obligation." She took his hand. "Running Bear taught me that love isn't about what others approve of. It's about finding someone who sees your soul and honors it. You did that for me when everyone else wanted me dead." Jacob felt something crack open in his chest, a loneliness he'd carried so long he'd forgotten it was there. "I've been alone for 15 years. Told myself I preferred it. But having you here, Catherine, it made me realize I wasn't choosing solitude. I was just hiding from a world that never made room for people like us." "Then maybe," she said softly, "we make our own room, right here, where the only opinion that matters is our own." They built a life together in those mountains. 2 people who'd been branded by hatred and found healing and acceptance. Catherine planted a garden where wildflowers grew. Jacob taught her to read the stars. And on quiet evenings, she'd tell him stories about running bear, keeping his memory alive, while Jacob shared Kaylee's of his mother's wisdom. Their love became a defiance of every cruel voice that said they didn't deserve happiness. If this story moved you, if Jacob and Catherine's courage to love despite the world's hatred touched your heart, then subscribe right now. I share these powerful stories every day because we need to remember that love is never wrong, no matter who tries to tell us otherwise. Share this with someone who needs hope. Drop a heart if you believe in love that defies boundaries. Because their story proves that sometimes the deepest healing comes from someone who understands your scars. See you in the next one.